And they have a right in the blue. He's playing for the Rebellion. Online, of course, so it's even better. It's ByuN. And at the bottom left in the red, the reigning GSL champion. Better than he ever has. 15-15. It's Solar. This will be a gas cancel 15 hatch, gas cancel 15 pool behind it, I assume. This is a build that has become a little bit more popular. Pretty much since I think Gamers 8 back in August, and we've seen players opt for it. Solar was the one that I first started to see do this a little bit more. And then Cyril, I mean, during the Masters Coliseum, Cyril just had the most, I hate to say the most interesting because that's like overly superlative, but he had the cleanest, maybe the most well-refined version of the build, where he went 15-15 into a Roach Warren, 2 base, exploded up to 4 base all of a sudden. And there was even a game where he had ultras popping by, I want to say it was like 8 minutes and 20 seconds into the game. Just ludicrous. Because he was so safe early, he was able to play a little bit greedier after that, and you had gas earlier and things. It's awkward, it's weird. But it absolutely has worked out for Cyril. He won Masters Coliseum. That being said, the other reason you go for a build like this is because of the 2-2. Of this double barracks opener that we see ByuN going for, where you're going to have Reapers on the map. You're going to have a lot of pressure. So as the Zerg player, you want to make sure that you have defense, that you have Lings out earlier, that you have Queens out earlier. So when the first Reaper arrives, and more importantly, when the 3 Reapers arrive, you're going to have 2 Queens. You're going to have maybe even more than that. And the other benefit of this is because everything's just a little bit faster, and because of how things time out, you can get your 3rd base on the way before the Reapers arrive, which is the most important thing. When a 2-2 shows up, and it wants to put pressure on, one of the big bits of value it can find is that right now there are only 2 Lings, but again, that's fine because the Queens are going to be out just a little bit faster than they might otherwise be, and ByuN's still trying to get on top of this. It's not. I don't think he's going to get the drone. Oh, he's going to. Yeah, okay, there we go. There's the Spore cancel, so nothing there, nothing getting found. But the most annoying thing about this well, I was going to say 2 racks, but actually no, it's a 3 racks. The most annoying thing about this pressure from ByuN is the fact that it does such a good job of denying that 3rd base, of really slowing the Zerg player down. But ByuN is pumping out 3 Reapers at a time here. This is far more committed than the build that he's been doing more often than not. Generally, it's been a 2 racks into an expansion, into a command center, into just a very standard way to play the game. But ByuN, 3 Reapers at a time. Now there's a command center on the way, but Solar knows this is a little bit slow. He has to pump Lings. Even still, 3 Reapers in the main base, 4 Reapers in the main base that constitute a significant problem. And even as this 3rd base is up and went up very quickly, so didn't take a lot of, built a lot of HP, this is still a ton of Reapers, and it's still a lot of power. And Solar desperately wants to keep this base alive. He needs to keep this base alive. But his speed is very delayed. I love that. The Evo chamber wall, but even still, a couple workers will fall. He needs to make sure these queens stay alive, absolutely, as he bounces the high energy queen forward. But he doesn't have an army that A, maintains his main base, and B, maintains his 3rd base. So there's so much damage being done here on the Tatchery, on the 3rd base. Lings are going to pop soon, but they're not there just yet. And ByuN, seeing the queens on the low ground, says, that's fine, I'm going to go high ground. Oh, there's a queen on its lonesome. Let's kill that one. That sounds like fun. And now the Reapers are going to get stuck into a corner here, but there is too much damage. The Lings, they're not high enough number, and well, Ling speed is honestly, it's a minute later than it would normally be. That's the conceit that Solar went for to go for this 15 hatch, 15 pool, quick 3rd base. He really cut the gas, and that means now that these Lings are just, it's 2 dead Reapers for 24 Lings and 2 queens, soon to be 3 queens. This is absolutely I hesitate to say Solar's dead, but Solar feels very dead right now. I mean, yeah, the Reapers are starting to fall because Ling speed is done, but and I guess technically no drones have died. But Solar has made, okay, he's lost 30 Lings. And he's made another 22. He's made 50 Lings. He's made 52 Lings this game. which is insane. And by the way, this wall from ByuN, I love this. So normally when you go for this build, they go paired. They go like right here and right here. And the add-ons are very exposed, and links can get us around, and it just doesn't feel all that great. But ByuN, again, this is a staggered wall. He goes more vertical on the wall. He builds a supply depot. And what this means is now, yeah, technically the tech lab would be exposed to, say, a Baneling bust or a bunch of roaches or something. It's not exposed to a Ling run by. They just don't have the surface area whatsoever. So ByuN, not only does he get a ton of damage, his third base is so low. Not only does he get a ton of damage, but on the other side, he mitigates anything that Solar may try to find, may want to do. And now, Stim is done. Combat shields on the way, +1 on the way, adding in these medevacs. And Solar, he's thrown up very hard. That also means he's sitting on 6 Lings, 22 Queens, 3 more on the way. It's not the scariest army to deal with all these Marines. Certainly not when medevacs arrive, and +1 in combat shields, which is, I think, the timing that ByuN's looking for. He might even just move out before the combat shields, but it's +1. Yeah, that's 15 seconds. I don't care how much of an opportunity you have. Wait 10 seconds. Get +1. Make it so these Marines, I mean, they shred, but make it so they shred even more. So now, 2 medevacs, more than 16 Marines getting ready to stim up the ramp, holding their stim until right now, where they see just how big this army is, or honestly, just how small it is, because the Lings, they're just dead. They're not going to do anything now. The Queens are going to fall apart here as well. And Solar took just too much damage in the early game. That meant that ByuN takes game 1. And now for game 2 in the upper left, in the blue, it's ByuN. His opponent in the bottom right in the red, just not quite identifying what his opponent was doing quickly enough, and certainly not handling it well enough. His name is Solar. And I forgot to hit the intro button, so we're going to do it again, so you get game sounds. That's important. Anyways, of course, as we get into game 2 of this series on Site Delta, or as Fear Dragon would say, Site DL Delta? Or Delta? Site Delta. I would like to remind you all that this game, and every game, and an awesome series from ByuN and Cyril and Maru, they're going up on my YouTube about 5 days a week. Once ESL is over, hopefully we'll be going back to 7 days a week, but it's hard to get the VODs recorded properly when I'm working 2 10-hour broadcast days every weekend. So that'll be over as of this weekend because we crowned a champion and I'm not working Sunday anyways. So there is that, and we'll have time. But if you want awesome games with ByuN and Maru and Cyril and all of these fantastic players, you should go hit the sub button on this YouTube channel. And also, if you want to catch me live, well, first of all, I got a Twitch, twitch.tv/BeoMulf, and I'll be live this evening for ESL Masters Americas. But also, I've started multi-streaming, so subbing to the channel on YouTube also means you should get notifications about that. That'll be live 7-ish Eastern for ESL Masters Americas, number 201. 200. That is 4 years. That's just under 4 years of ESL Cups. That's pretty awesome. I mean, I know we have complaints sometimes about formats or, you know, Blizzard's lack of support, but the fact that ESL has been running this Open Cup for 4 years is just so fantastic. As ByuN seems like he's about to catch this Overlord. I don't think he gets the high ground in. Oh no, you're kidding me. 3 HP, and the Overlord's. No, that's not allowed. That's illegal. It's not okay. But ByuN, yeah, he fails to get the Overlord by about 3 HP. And now Ling is trying to find their way onto the other side here. No speed, of course. There's also... Well, now there's a wall. And what an odd wall it is. It's not a full one. It is... You can still squeak your way around, but it's not worth it. But ByuN building everything in the low ground. So it's a free scout. Solar knows exactly what ByuN's doing. He knows that, yeah, there was a barracks on the low ground, and this barracks was taken on the ramp specifically to try to scout this Overlord. Specifically to try to snipe the Overlord down. Because if you build that Marine in the high ground, you're not going to catch the Overlord in the middle of the map as much. You're not going to be able to prevent them from finding one of those dead air spaces that, well, once they're up there, you can't see them. And if you can't see them, you just cannot kill them. So ByuN tried to make that happen. Didn't really find it. But anyways, behind this, this is a very, this is Clem-esque, really. It's, well, I guess it's a Marine expand, not a Reaper expand, so that is a little bit different. But Reaper or Marines, Hellions into a Banshee, Hellion Banshee, third base should go down pretty quickly here. Just a very standard TVZ mid-game. And I really like that because what this is this is a change of pace from game number 1. Game 1, ByuN built 3 racks and built a lot of Reapers and won the game with that. It was very good. But now he's going much more standard, much greedier, and the Hellions are going to get caught out here, which is not really what you're looking for if you're ByuN. You are very much hoping that you're going to set some tempo. You're at the very least going to deny some creep and then allow your Banshees to pair up with your Hellions and find value that way. But I said we were going to get a quick third base. I lied. Unintentionally, but lying by omission is still lying. And certainly telling you the wrong thing is also unfortunate because we got 2 more barracks on the way. Then there's going to be the third base, of course, because this is not going to be a 2-base all-in out of ByuN. He hasn't really opened like it would be, but he's getting on his extra production, building his Marine count a little bit faster than he's building his base, which does allow for some pressure, does allow for him to be active on the map, which is exactly what ByuN wants to do. That's how he likes to play. He's not a Maru. He's not a Cure. He's not this player that likes to just sit back and defend and say this is fine. No, he really does want to go and play things a little bit higher tempo, I guess is the better way to say that. Now, double gas is on the way of the natural, but we know this isn't mech because this is 5 minutes. And also there's double eBays, and also there's 3 barracks. So, not going to be mech, certainly not, but what it will be is, you know, additional gas. You can start to afford the tanks, you can afford your medevacs, all of that. And Solar, interesting. We're seeing Solar go for Roach Warren. We've started to see more Roach play, I think, over the last, pretty much since the patch. Because Banelings were nerfed a little bit. They lost that little 5 HP mini combat shields that they would get when Baneling speed is done. And yeah, Baneling speed's faster now, but that just keeps you safe against the 2-base timing. It's not, it's an overall pretty significant nerf to Banes. And the fact that that is true and that Marines mow them down so much faster and, well, tanks kill them faster, all of that, we've started to see more Roach play into the late game. Yeah, this +1 attack on the way, +1 armor on the way is, I mean, this shouldn't surprise anyone. You see the Roach Warren go down. Oh, I was going to say, shouldn't I Side Delta's a pretty decent map to go and try to attack through. It's not great. It's not, what's a good example? It's not like Equilibrium that is just wide open at the third base. But you do have 3 attack paths into the third. You can set up some surrounds, and the walls aren't too, I mean, they're small, but they're not, I can think of smaller wall chokes is I guess the way to say that. It's not man, what's the map? It's the green map with the speed zones. Totally blanking on the map name. Anyway, it's not that. That is impossible to break a third base on. But ByuN, he's now active on the map. +1 done. Combat shield's not done just yet, but +1. Well, you know, +1 attack, 1/1 attack, 1/1 armor on the way. And let's see what ByuN's able to do with this first push. It's not as fast as it previously was, and with Roaches out here, I don't think it's going to get much done. But we have a very quick hive coming out of Solar as well. So that's a lot of deferred investment that ByuN might be able to punish a little bit. He's going to get the 5th. Okay. That's a start. Knocking the 5th base down is pretty solid. But of course, Solar, he's got another 4th base on the way. He's got, oh, that's a little bit ballsy there, Solar. But ByuN's drop thinks about going into the main base. So it's actually not really going to do all that much at the moment. And behind this again, we've got ourselves a hive halfway done. What this is at, we talked the last game about sterile builds, about going and finding this value and getting going 15-15 and getting a very quick layer and doing all that. Our layer might be done for Solar just about the same time as 1/1. That is, I mean, it looks like 1/1's going to be done a little bit faster, but that is just absolutely wild here. And the question remains then, is it going to be for Ultras, like we saw Solar do against Maru that one time? Is it going to be for just Vipers and Adrenal? I don't know, but for now, Ling's getting on top of the tanks here. They're not getting much, though, and ByuN eviscerates the Ling line, knocks them all down, and now on top of the Ravagers as well. Now, Queen's on the back line. They're starting to kill the tanks here, but the target fire on the Banelings as well. ByuN getting so much value, and now retreating back to his tank line, which will fall. The Queens there, they constitute too much of an HP buffer. Even still, more Queens will fall down, more drones go down, more Lings go down on the left side. The base gets canceled, Spore will fall. I mean, okay. But Overlords will go down here as well. ByuN absolutely just rending Solar limb from limb. And any chances of this being an Overlord, or not an Overlord build, an Ultra build, it's kind of gone now. 11 drones. Hatcheries canceled multiple times. 81 Lings, a couple Queens. The money that Solar just lost in the last 30 seconds or so pretty much prevents you from going the stupid quick Ultra Cavern, because you need to reinforce. You need more Lings, you need more Banes, you need more Roaches. Which means that, yeah, there's going to be an Ultra Cavern, but it's going to be a lot later. Of course, ByuN, there's no Ghost Academy. Not just yet. He's staying on the mid game a little bit more, and it's a bit of a shame because, yeah, in Ultras, when the Terran's barely on 2-2, those Ultras can be really solid as the Banelings run forward. But again, the nerf, they don't do as much, they don't take as much damage. And on the north side as well here, ByuN multi-pronging every which way. 5 workers go down, tries to target fire the Banelings down here. They're just too many, and ByuN, that's a big connection there. Solar stabilized this just a little bit. That was a little bit better. But still, 5 drones fall, and the Banshee on the bottom side, it's done a lot here. This hatchery, it's done 2/3 of the damage to this hatchery, just untouched. The Queen's going to try to find his way over, but ByuN just runs away, knocks some creep tumors down. ByuN, cloak, ByuN. ByuN, I don't know what was happening with that one. So these Marines will go down. Nice job of there making the Banelings connect before you lose too many Lings. But ByuN knew the Banshee was there. He was actively controlling it and just didn't cloak it. Oh, okay, never mind. I guess he canceled cloak. Okay, so that explains why he didn't cloak it. The cloak upgrade was canceled. I guess because the Hellions went down. He didn't feel like he was going to be able to pair them up nearly as well as now on the bottom side here. Widowmines are going to look to burrow on up, but they get denied. They get shut down so quickly as now the Banelings try to run forward here. There's like 1 remaining, and ByuN splitting backwards. Oh, the last Baneling looking for connection. Not going to find it, though. ByuN's got to run away. For the first time, he loses a fight, and he loses it pretty badly. Running back away, losing Marines on the retreat. I'd like to see just sectioning off a couple while the rest of the army runs away, just trying to buy some time. And now Banelings, this base... Well, luckily for ByuN, there's nothing that really shoots up, but the base is lifted. SCVs are falling, and now Solar onto the other side of the map is starting to crush through ByuN. It's been a rough mid game, but he hit the late game faster, and he hit the late game far more powerfully. So now ByuN, he's back against the ropes here. He has to be so careful. These Ultras have 4 armor. The Marines are just tickling them. They got a gun that's a feather. And Solar, he takes game number 2 in our series. ByuN, well, he looked good in the mid game, but just fell down a little bit too hard later on. In the bottom right, in the rubber match on Golden Aura, it's ByuN. His opponent in the upper left, hitting the late game harder, hitting the late game so much faster. It's Solar. So now we're into game 3, and we saw ByuN get very aggressive in the first game. 3 racks Reaper. He built like 10 Reapers and killed off, I think, for like 30 Lings. Forced Solar to build 22 more and just kind of killed him. Game 2, though, he went more standard. He went Marine opener into Hellions into Banshee. Extra racks before the 3rd base, so not quite as greedy as he could have been, but oh, ByuN. Oh, this is greedy. But it seems like it's going to work out because this is a standard build. This is 16, 18, 17 coming out of Solar. But ByuN goes CC first. And the mental conditioning that he's put on in this game. or in the series, excuse me, to Solar to say, hey, look, I can be aggressive. You should be very careful, especially on maps with small chokes, so it's easier to build those barracks on the low ground. You should be afraid, Solar. You know, don't. But also, yeah, like it's not the easiest thing to punish this. If you go CC first, anything short of a 12 pool is not really going to delay the command center. If you go maybe like a 15-15 or something, your lanes, the command center is pretty much going to be done by the time you run across. So really, ByuN doesn't get punished by early pool openings. It's more about your marine count and your Hellion count and your Cyclone count or whatever it is. Like your next round of tech is delayed, and that would mean like something like a 19 drone roach timing, for example, is really solid against this build. But Solar's not a player that does that. Solar isn't even really a, I mean, we saw him play roaches last game, but he isn't even really a roach player. He's a Ling player. He's a macro god. He's a he invented Hydroling Bane. But he's not a roach player, and certainly not a 19 drone roach player, especially against a player like ByuN that loves nothing more than to build 2 barracks in his wall, run Reapers across, and start to cause problems. And that is a build that is the 19 drone roach is just not good against. ByuN will go, he'll bunker up in front of the wall, get his tech done, and then just be fine. Now, Solar's not going to be happy about this. He's going to go, he's going to get a Ling across. He saw exactly what he needed to see, that yeah, this is a very quick natural coming out of ByuN. The fact that the Ling gets in and there's already an orbital done is just, there are things that spark joy in this world, and this is not one of them. Now Solar's got his 3rd base on the way, Ling speed on the way. He's just acknowledging that he's going into this mid game at a slight yeah, we can call it a deficit, like just a slight economic deficit. Is this going to go, and is this going to make ByuN lose the game? Probably not. Or ByuN win the game? Probably not. But what it will do is it just makes Solar maybe play a little bit greedier. And I love, if that's your thesis, that Solar's going to play pretty greedy to match up with the fact that you went CC first, and that's something that you got to deal with. Well, Hellion drops are a pretty solid response. That's actually so cool coming out of ByuN. Well, I said Hellion drops. Actually, it's going to be a Hellbat play. Okay. Funnily enough, I like this less. I think that Hellbats are just not all that great. I don't really... I mean, you have to be catching... You really have to be looking to catch your opponent incredibly off guard in this scenario. Especially because this is... It's not naked Hellbats. There are going to be a couple Marines, but there are no Marauders, nothing to slow Queens down. And Solar, he's got 6 Queens. He's got 2 more on the way. The big deal, though, is he's got only 12 Lings. He's really... He doesn't have a lot of damage on the ground on top of this, and this is still a significant push coming out of ByuN. And Solar doesn't really have the scout, not right now. But his Queens are holding the ramp, and it's a hard position for ByuN to try to break, especially with this high ground vision that he's going to have. The Medevac should take some damage first, and Solar, well... setting up for the surround right now, and of course he gets the scout, sees the 3rd base eventually, does see Stim right now, so he knows that this is not 100% committed, but it's pretty dang committed here. And now with the Hellbats running forward, Ling's looking for the surround on the backside. First Hellbat will fall, Overload falls, so Solar closer to getting supply blocked, but this is the most non-committal Hellbat build I've ever seen, but for that reason also I'm just not a fan of it. It's not. I don't know. I mean, I guess it forced Lings out of Solar. There's that. But I am not sure that I like this build coming out of ByuN. I mean, he's got his 3rd base just about done. He's building 1-1, Stim, whatever. He is going to be so on the back foot for the next little bit of time. Solar has the map. Yes, this Hellbat build is... It's knocking some creep spread down. It's putting some pressure on. There are too many Queens. This is the most it's going to do. And honestly, this creep spread, the Solar's dropping tumors anyways. This is not going to be even really all that mitigated. So Solar has the map now. He's got his 1-1 on the way. He's got really nice creep spread. He's got his creep spread outside of where the 4th's going to be. He's putting himself in a pretty nice spot. But ByuN's doing a Hellion drop now, and this might have maybe a little bit more promise for Hellions in the main base, but Lings are already here, and I don't know how that Ling got so low. Regardless, This also doesn't get anything done. And now the medevac falls as well. So this is pathing, please. These queens, idiot queens. What are you doing? Why would you think that I want you to go off creep when I'm spreading creep? No. Go this way. I guess the pathfinding. I think the way the pathfinding works is it looks for a line of like the shortest distance rather than the fastest distance. So queens don't prioritize running on creep, which is just... If you play Zerg, you've been there. You got queens going off creep around a corner like this, and then a bio army catches it, you lose a couple queens, and you're just like, why were you there? It just doesn't feel good. Now, queen will fall down. Nice snap there from ByuN. 1-1 done in just about right now, but he's going to have to pick up before it's ready, so it's actually a bit of an anti-timing. ByuN thought he was going to be able to put a little bit of pressure on, and then as Solar responded, then he was going to have that 1-1 versus 0-0 timing, but that is not the case. But at least ByuN's got his third base up, and to be totally honest, his fourth base, whenever he decides to take it, is going to be untouchable. Zerg can't attack this. At least not easily at all. So ByuN, again, he's macroing his way back into this game, knocking a queen down here or there, denying some creep spread, killing off lings as he can find it. I thought there was a Widowmine in that army. Apparently not. I could have sworn I saw a Tracer. Anyways, just looking for trades as well as he can. And this has been a very, I'm not going to say uninteractive game, because ByuN did go for that Hellbat build, and it was something. Oh no, the medevac. And ByuN, oh jeez. This is, things were going bad for ByuN, and they were there. That Hellbat build got nothing done. Things were going bad for ByuN. It's just the last 30 seconds have gone so much worse. Losing the medevac, losing the drop on the left side. Solar's up. Solar's playing Lingbane, and he's up in army supply, which is just, that doesn't happen. Okay, the Lings are, Lingbane is incredibly supply expensive, or supply efficient. It's really hard to get to max out on that. So the fact that ByuN is down in supply is a bit of a pain, but Solar's actually very out of position here as ByuN knocks some of the Baneling cocoons now, and now he's going to have to pick up and... Never mind. Solar's up 40 supply. He's up 20 workers and, well, now he's up 10 army supply, but he was up 20 army supply, and he continues to develop his deck. He's got his hive halfway done. 1-1 done here. I'm finding it hard to say that ByuN's not... To say that ByuN's not dead, because realistically, ByuN hasn't traded more efficiently. 300 resources in a game like this in the TVZ is not trading more efficiently. Okay, well, Solar just wants to defend that. The Bailey should die, but anyways, ByuN now establishing position on the high ground here, but now the Widowmine will fall, and the big surround as well. So it's again a pickup, a runaway. And I don't think even with this 2-2 timing, it's not like the gap is, the gap's decreasing. It was 300, now it's 150. And the single marine on the drop, well, it's not going to get much done, but the drop on this side finally damaged for ByuN. 13 workers go down. And he's got that 2-2 timing. Solar, though, lurking in on the way. Adrenal glands, Hydra range, adding in Vipers. He's just about maxed out. At least ByuN's got his fourth. And I do like, by the way, that he's building up an orbital here. This could very easily be a planetary, and I wouldn't blame him. That's very standard. But because this base is, well, first of all, it's ByuN. And ByuN loves nothing more. ByuN loves nothing. Loves nothing more than to go and take an orbital on the fourth and the fifth and just be greedy as hell and rely on the fact that he can get aggressive. And that's how he's going to win the game. And that's how he's going to keep his base alive. Just aggression over and over and over again. But as we've seen in this game, this is not a setup where ByuN has been able to be that aggressive and put that pressure on the map and really force his opponent to trade poorly and be greedy behind it. So, again, I think it's more about the map layout this time rather than the fact that ByuN has been able to run the map. Now on the left side, ByuN, well, this is a scary position for Solar to try to defend. On the high ground, lurkers aren't done yet, and now Ling's on the, oh, look at the Widowmine. The Widowmine is not gonna go. Oh no, it does. So many Banelings go down, and ByuN I mean, all of a sudden here, he's maxed out. He's equal in army supply. His 3-3 is a bit far away, but he holds the high ground position, and that is a terrifying position. The Widowmines just got so much. That's 17 dead Baneleys this game. And he's going to drop in the main base as well. Things are... It's still not great for ByuN, but now he's opening that trading gap that you want to find in this matchup. He's starting to just move Solar around the map just a little bit. And now this quad drop on the left side here. Solar's not in position. He's fighting in the middle of the map, trying to end this game, I guess. And well, he's going to have to go home. Widowmine's not burrowed up. Oh, that's a big shot. Widowmine on its last HP gets a shot off. Workers are going to fall here, and ByuN in a bit of a choke. The Banelings are even going to struggle to connect, but just backing up for now, looking to maybe go high ground a little bit more. And now ByuN, I mean, he's maxed out. His 2-2 is very close to completion, and he's going to get on top of the Hydra Den as well here, so maybe that's going to be something. And on top of this fourth base as well here, ByuN again starting to find a little bit more value. Banelings get targeted down. Only 2 of them left in the army, and the army for ByuN is still here. All of a sudden, it turns around. All of a sudden, ByuN is starting to do what he needs to do here. The Banelings continue to fall down. There are not enough of them in the Hydras. They're getting absolutely shredded here on the +3 timing. What the hell happened, Solar? ByuN, yeah, he's going to be backed up, but it's 9 dead drones. And look at the resources lost now. 5,000 resources. 5,000 resources in the good for ByuN. I can't believe how good the last minute for ByuN has been. The last 2 minutes. He was so down in the he was so down in this game. He had traded even with this, trading even with the Zerg 10 minutes in is just a horrible scenario. He had given Solar the map. He hadn't denied any economy, just feeling so bad. But all of a sudden, a couple Widowmine shots, some excellent target fire, and some really good use of his timings. And he's starting to find his way back to this game. But those Banelings are really causing some issues. But Widowmine on the backside knocks Hydras down here. Solar trying to take the fight, but it's not going to happen. It doesn't work. And the parasitic bombs, they're going to force a couple medevacs back. Not enough here. ByuN on the concave. All of a sudden, up in army supply. 3-3 versus 2-1-3. And now, well, the Widowmines, they're going to get some shots on just what they can. The Banelings, they're not done yet. ByuN stimming on top of this army right now. This has got to be it. Solar's got nothing left. He's building more Hydras, building more Lings. But this is where it gets so scary as the Zerg player. You got supply and production, and you're desperately holding these back, trading as evenly as you can. But the bio continues now, fighting its way in. And Solar, this is a heartbreak. This feels so bad if you're a Zerg player. He was in such a good spot. It cannot be overstated how incredible of a spot Solar was in this game. And ByuN broke him over the course of 2 minutes. He started to find the trades that he needed. He started to win the game, and now Solar loses 9 more drones. His economy not nearly as good as it was. He's on 6 bases. And he is rebuilding the drone count, but even still, 81 drones. He was down at 70 for a second. Not great. His main base just about mined out. Natural just about mined out. Third base probably getting pretty low as well. So, well, he's got to find some magic, and lurkers might just be that magic. Realistically, ByuN doesn't have any ghosts. It's literally marine mine. He couldn't afford anything else for the longest time. I guess marine medevac, not mine, but no marauders, no tanks, just marines and mine. And they have done so much in this game. Truly, they have done so much in this game. And the lurkers aren't in position even still. Widowmines, they're not going to go off here. Target fire there from ByuN onto the Banes in the last couple. They're trapped behind the Hydras. They're not getting the connections that they need. Not anymore. ByuN on top of the army now. The lurkers burrowed, but they're just not here. They're somewhere else. Now they're going to burrow up when the scan goes down. ByuN has to be careful. Lurkers are still scary, but they don't have burrow. They're not yet. They don't have the burrow upgrade. So Solar, that single G, he taps out. ByuN, what a comeback. Holy crap, what a comeback.